Welcome, O wanderers of the wavelength, to the inner sanctum of the Chilluminatti. You didn't find us by accident. You were tuned in. Behind this veil of shadow and signal, we gather, not to follow, but to question. So light your candle and lean back 33 degrees. Close the blinds and forget what they told you was real.
And if you feel that you can't go on, and you're sinking low,
don't feel the sun's coming out today. Staying in, it's gonna find another way. As I sit here in this misery, I don't think I'll ever know, Lord, seen the sun from here. Knows I fade away. They'll all look at me and say,
It's the Saturday night Chilluminati. I am Jimmy, the Grand Master of Ceremonies. Here's Blind Mill.
when you feel like fate worth living, you got to stand up and take a look around. You look up way to the sky, and when your deepest thoughts are broken, you know you keep on dreaming more. And when you stop, you know you're gonna die. And right now I don't wanna die. And as we all play for ourselves tomorrow, Lord knows some ways will work and other ways will play. Yeah, but I know we can't all stay here forever. So I wanna write my words on the best of today before they paint it. Knows I fade away.
Alright, well, hey, I'm here all by myself tonight.
brother, help me please. I'm as low
So far, I'm flying solo.
I can be.
I don't have a plan, but never to worry. There's always something
Forget me,
to talk about.
I'm real pleased. Yeah. Sister, what can I do? in love with Tootsie too. Please excuse me if I am low, but mere feelings have to show. People, hold my hand. Where in the hell is this promised land? Goes right past me. Do I like your style? Stick it, stick it, stick it, stick it, stick it, stick it. Yeah, for a while. Mother, mother, so good to me. Praying just so I can breathe. My father, my only one. I hope you're proud of this your son. People, hold my hand.
All right, there goes Tommy Boland's. It's Saturday night Chilluminatti. My name's Jimmy. It's Ground Zero Plus. I'll be here for the next 2 hours. All right, listen though. Seriously though. Okay, so here. So, what is that? Do you hear that? Some fucking alarm going off. All right, listen. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. So, you know, when I'm not doing shows or whatever, there's some channels that I check in with on the internet. And one of them is a channel called Business Reform. And for the most part, you probably wouldn't notice it because it doesn't look like something you'd be interested in. But I highly recommend the channel. I'm going to play a clip from the guy right now. And it's I'm going to let it roll. You know, it's like about 8-minute clip. But I'm going to let the whole thing roll because, like I said, I wasn't planning on flying solo tonight. And I got to put some stuff together in the background here while Business Reform is playing. So recommend this guy big time. He's a good dude. He does good. It has nothing to really do with business. Most of it. But so check it out. Business Reform. Here's the clip. And I just want to plug him. Here we go.
Something demonstrably false if there is a realistic chance it was.
Okay, so
I do my best to.
This here is about the Department of Homeland Security and the Real ID. So what you guys, I just want to throw this out to you. So I don't know if anyone's really
Give people the benefit of doubt and not accuse them of lying when they say something demonstrably false if there is a realistic chance it was an honest mistake. In this video, I will explain why I am convinced Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is intentionally lying rather than just being mistaken in comments she has repeatedly made about Real ID. I am Dr. John Padfield, an engineer turned state representative turned business professor, and this is Business Reform, where we discuss issues at the intersection of business, technology, and society. If you want to support my work in creating sponsor-free content like this, I invite you to buy me a coffee using this QR code or the link in the description. On April 11, 2025, Secretary Kristi Noem posted this video on her official X account.
Hi, I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. If you plan on traveling, we need your help to prevent delays and to prove your identity. Get a Real ID. Starting May 7th, you will need a Real ID to travel by air or to visit federal buildings in the United States.
Let me repeat that last part. She claimed, quote, starting May 7th, you will need a Real ID to travel by air or to visit a federal building in the United States. 3 days later, on April 14th, 2025, she continued claiming that as of May 7th, Real ID is required for people to fly in the United States. However, 3 weeks later, on May 6, 2025, when she was answering questions under oath during a congressional committee hearing, she said this:
We will be honoring passports, other federally recognized IDs, tribal IDs will be recognized.
That answer is the truth. According to TSA's own website, the new national ID card known as Real ID is just one.
So when she was under oath testifying to Congress, she said the truth. But when she's running around doing these interviews on these news shows and this and that, she's lying to everybody. Because there's, well, let's let Homeboy tell you all about it here.
Thing.
I mean, hang on. Hold on there, man. Hold on there, little buckaroo. There you go. Here you go, boy.
Of 16 different documents, such as a U.S. passport, a permanent resident card, enhanced tribal cards, or a veteran health identification card that a person can use to board a plane in the United States. As always, links to all my sources can be found in the description of this video. I could be generous and give her the benefit of doubt that she was simply mistaken when she told the public Real ID was required to fly, and possibly she learned the truth about the other 15 acceptable forms of identification before testifying to Congress. But just one day after telling the truth under oath to a congressional committee, she again posted a lie on her official X account by claiming you need a Real ID to fly. I can't read minds, so I don't know for sure why she is lying to the public about needing a Real ID to fly, but I believe the answer can be found in Section 201 of the Real ID Act, which states the official purpose of the Real ID, quote, includes but is not limited to accessing federal facilities, boarding federally
This is the most important piece coming up here. He's about to reveal this piece. Here you go.
regulated commercial aircraft, entering nuclear power plants, and any other purpose the Secretary shall determine. And just
Okay, this is HR 1268, and any other purpose the Secretary determines. Okay, so whatever it says right there explicitly, when it lines out, it doesn't line out whatever else it could be. So she could just decide, hey, you need one of these if you want to, I don't know what, use the restroom, fucking pick up your food stamps. I don't know. We'll see. Let's continue.
to be clear, the term Secretary means the Secretary of Homeland Security. So once everyone has their national ID card, Congress has already given Secretary Noem the authority to require people to show or use their national ID card for any purpose she determines. And what are some of the potential purposes where she might decide to require us to use our national ID cards? Let's start with the most obvious. 23 U.S. states have already implemented age verification requirements for accessing adult content on the Internet. And by a 6-3 decision, the U.S. Supreme Court has already upheld the Texas law. If you think these laws won't impact you because you don't access adult websites, you might want to pay attention to what's going on right now in the United Kingdom. In 2023, the UK passed a similar law that went into effect in July 2025. That law, called the Online Safety Act, was supposedly about protecting children from harmful content, but it is now causing social media posts showing clashes between rioters and police to be suppressed, and it has given the government, quote, far greater control over what can and can't be viewed online. Because the term harmful content is so vague and the penalty...
That's about as vague as it could. Harmful content. What's harmful content? So so here, our channel over here, it's not for children. So, I mean, are you going to have to smart ID in? You're going to have to eyeball scan? I mean, what's to stop the Secretary from Homeland Security to decide that you need an eyeball scan to go with that smart card? Hey, you want an eyeball scan with that? You go down and get your smart card. It's like an extra added thing. Hey, you want an eyeball scan with that?
For websites who do not prevent children from viewing it are so severe Many websites are either requiring age verification to access any content, or they are removing anything that could remotely be deemed harmful to children, such as political debate on certain topics and video of violent protest. Online age verification is a very serious and sensitive topic worthy of a much deeper discussion than I have time for in this video. In October, I will post a video of an interview I have scheduled with a doctoral student at Purdue University who is doing dissertation research related to...
So this is the Business Reform channel over on YouTube. He's got a lot of technological input over here too.
Could easily become a requirement to access a lot more than adult content on the internet. And as women who use the dating app T learned earlier this month, when you upload your government-issued ID to a website, there is no guarantee it will be secure. What?
So apparently, and I saw some things about this about a week ago. Apparently there's some website, some dating site called T, and apparently it got hacked last week or whatever. So whoever hacked it was putting stuff out that they, found in there. It turned out to be, not a very pleasant situation for the people that were members of T or whatever. But I don't know exactly what's going on with it, but apparently from what this guy is inferring, you needed to have your smart ID in order to join this whatever site it is. So and so apparently everyone loaded up and put their stuff up there, and it got hacked. So that's the point he's making.
Could Secretary Noem decide to require us to show our real ID for? Opening a bank account comes to mind, along with renting a car, booking a hotel stay, or buying a cell phone. Basically, any activity that requires companies to comply with Know Your Customer laws could
Know Your Customer. So this is just like the foot in the door, like making you wear a helmet on a motorcycle, or making kids wear helmets on bikes or whatever. I mean, making you take a piss test. It's like it used to be, oh, well, you only have to take a piss test for government jobs. And then that becomes the standard across the plane or whatever. Same thing with drug testing. You know what I mean? It's the same idea. Get it? It keeps going and going. I mean, how long is it going to be before you gotta, I don't know, scan your eyeball and piss in a cup before you can get your brick of government cheese and your bag of genetically modified potatoes?
Require real ID if Secretary Noem says so, because Congress has already delegated the power to her to make the rules of where real ID must be used. You may be wondering what is the big deal about real ID, since the vast majority of people already carry a state-issued identification card such as a driver's license. There are three significant differences. First, even though this card is being issued by the states, it is a national ID card, and this is the first time the United States has ever required civilians to carry a national ID card. Second, this card uses biometrics to ensure the card belongs to the person using it. Secretary Noem has assured us this is to keep bad guys off planes, even though had this law been in effect in 2001, it would not have kept a single perpetrator off those 4 planes, because they all boarded the planes under their real names. Third,
man, do you realize how the internet is going to become a ghost town? I mean, this is the stuff that's going on in our immediate vicinity, with the laws being passed in the UK with these harmful content laws, and then you combine that with what's going on over here and the contract that Palantir got with the government. You start to see this. I mean, the picture is starting to come into place. It's like we've been talking about on the show for a lot of years, that at some point you're gonna have to prove who you are. For whatever, there's gonna be some sort of a watermark that specifically to you when you're doing something. Because I mean, with all these deep fakes and all these videos and whatnot, there's no real way to tell if someone is someone who they, are actually. So the video, these characters, these digital characters that they have now, they're getting better and better and better and better, and pretty soon it'll be to a point where you will not be able to fucking tell who's real and who isn't on the internet. And then couple that with you're not free anywhere on the internet. I mean, what's going to happen? There's going to be some other secondary internet that crops up for the people that don't want to participate in this. I mean, because it's starting to get a bit weird, especially when you got mask wearing, gun toting, military style contractors with guns kicking doors in and dragging people out in the middle of the night. If you're the one getting dragged out in the middle of the night, the people all around your house looking at it, how do they know you're not an illegal immigrant? They don't know. Fucking nobody knows. They're just like, what's going on over there? I don't know. It looks like someone's getting dragged out of the house. Oh, must be an illegal immigrant. All right, well, I guess he ain't coming back, Hey, I need a new lawnmower. Let me see if there's anything left over here. Did they drag this guy out? I don't know. We don't want to live in that world, do we? No, but, it's getting to a point where, at this point, the flow in a certain direction, the flow is getting stronger and stronger. It's almost to the point where you won't be able to resist it. It'll just wash you downstream. You can't, paddle upstream as hard as you can up, some rapids. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. You know what I mean? It's a tight situation right now. It's really, we're on the precipice of something big. You can feel it. And you can see across the whole world, you can see that there's a whole bunch of things that are happening, small things that are meaningless overall, but together with the other small things that are happening, it's creating this whole infrastructure that's, going to be the future of the world. And, we're moving into that. So it's hard to know what to do, especially right now. Because what if you want to fly? You want to go get a smart ID? No. What you want to do, unfortunately, is you want to get yourself a passport and get the new passport card. Now, a member of my family has a passport, and they went ahead and just ordered a passport card, and they got it back within a couple weeks. So you might want to check that out. It's another way to go. Plus, it's always good to have a passport in case you got a GTFO, with your gold or whatever.
Plans are already underway to transition Real ID from a physical card to a mobile driver's license, which is, quote, a digital representation of a physical driver's license and are typically accessed via an app installed on a smartphone.
So it's increasingly necessary for you to have your phone with you at all times. It's almost like, China, where you got to have your phone with you at all times. But the point being is that why do they have to know who everybody is at all times at every given moment? I mean, when did that become something that was necessary to do? Why is it because we're afraid somebody's going to happen, somebody's going to sneak in here? Why all of a sudden? And it's because it ties right into this whole other thing that's been going on, doesn't it? Exactly. They want to know who everybody is. And the thing about it is, they already fucking know who you are. That's the thing. That is the thing. But you need to go. Remember in that Poltergeist movie? That fucking old man was banging on the door. The little girl let him in, screen door. Remember that dude? Yeah. It's the same thing. It's a smart card. It's the same thing. If you go down there and sign up for it, then then you're submitting to it. You're agreeing to it. You know? But you'll get all the benefits that come along with it. You know, if you got a smart card and you go to the airport, boom, you're walking through. No lines. You're just like. Meanwhile, the other dude over there who's got no smart ID, they don't even let you in, I think. I think they tell you to just, you know what, man, get the fuck out of here. You don't have an ID? What's the matter with you? What is this fucking alarm going off? All right. I don't know why my phone's going off like that. Apparently I set an alarm accidentally somehow. But, oh well, it's almost the bottom of the hour, so maybe it was good that the alarm I didn't set went off. All right, listen. This smart ID thing, it's not a good idea. Like I say, I think passports is the way to go. You know, just passports. All right, well, and so, like we were also saying a minute, or like there's nobody here but me. Like I was saying a minute ago, the internet's going to become a weird place, isn't it? Because, I mean, if you're going to have to log in every time, you're agreeing. You're basically saying, go ahead and know who I am while I go and try to figure out what kind of tires I want to buy. You know what I mean? They'll know directly who you are, specifically. In other words, they'll say, hey, Bob, remember when you bought those Bridgestones back in 1987? Well, why don't you come back to Bridgestone, Bob? We're going to give you a really good deal over here. I mean, it's simple, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. But you won't be able to deny it was you anymore. See, it takes away this... right now, there's no legal way for people to know who you are on the internet. They can know who you are, but it's not, you know, they're not supposed to be able to. You're supposed to be on here and not have to do any of that, showing your ID or all that. So, no one can really know if it was you. If somebody sat down at your computer and went into your email and then went in there and sent an email out to somebody, there's no way that, you know, to prove it was you or it wasn't you. You know what I mean? So, or whatever. Or, you know, say there's some browsing history on your computer, and then somehow for some reason, you know, you end up getting in trouble. Well, how does anybody know who was actually doing the browsing? And somebody maybe was browsing on your computer. So there's no way to know. So, but that's why they got to have the positive ID. So you go on here, then, you know, you signed in. There you go. And everything after that point is, you know, public knowledge at that point, right? Because you're out in the public space. All right. What's up, D. Hodges? Hey, Polly, what's going on? Ned, Karen. Who else over there? Mike Mont, AA. Good to see you. Woohoo! Amber 2. Who else over there? Larry, Jaron, Golden Eagle. It was really good to see you, man. Sunspots, Golden Eagle, Pyramid 7. Golden Eagle, it's good to see you, man. Really good. We were wondering and we missed you. So I'm glad you came back. I'm glad you're here, man. All right, so anyhow, I had some stuff to get into last night. It's kind of, I mean, it's a, so, you know, it's in reference to Earth changes. It's, you know, it's fairly intense, which is why I didn't want to bring it up last night. Anyway, I'm not sure. I might as well bring it up tonight since I'm here hanging, and I already have it here together. I got a couple other things I was working on this week, but I was just in the beginning stages of most of it, so it really wasn't show material quite yet. But I could clearly bring it up. Yeah, we did a show about the dead internet like a couple years ago. There was a thing where people were finding out that most of these, a lot of the websites and stuff don't exist. And you know, when you see these 30 pages of results from Google, when you get past the first stack of pages, the rest of it's like the shit's not there anymore. It's like everybody's been herded into this corral, and we're all milling around in the feed lot, getting our feeds, our feed bag from the internet, doling out the whatever you're looking for. You know what I mean? Doling it out to you. I mean, it's gotten to a point where it's super intense when you go to your whatever social media, and all the things presented to you have something to do with your life today. Like you had a conversation with somebody about something, and then all of a sudden there's a short over there on your YouTube homepage that has to do with exactly what you're talking about, even though you didn't type anything in and you didn't do any searching. You were just talking to somebody out loud about something, and then there it is. So I had a couple patents I was looking at last week too, and some interesting stuff. But I mean, it has specifically to do with that right there, to actually mind reading you. Necessarily not zooming into your skull and that type of thing, but mind reading you in the sense that, you know, from a Pavlov's dog type of scenario, you know. Yeah. All right, so listen, I guess I could get into some of these earth changes things, because I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago I said there was a wobble. And we didn't really get into it, talking about it on the show, but there was a wobble. And the wobble that there was I think it's directly responsible for a lot of what we're seeing across the world right now with these earthquakes and these volcanoes. Which is why I started looking into it, you know, and then I put some stuff together here, and I got a small little group of bullet points over here that I can read out to you. So in the meantime, here's Eddie Hazel. All right. So, on the 4th of July, there was a hiccup in the Earth's rotation. there was a sudden jerk in the way that the planet spins. So the Earth hiccuped in mid-rotation on the 4th of July. So they noticed there was our alignment. The planet was off. So there's been an acceleration of the moving of the magnetic north, and it's been going on for years and years. So I mean, obviously people talk about this idea of some of these kind of changes, some of these earth changes happening, some of these phenomena that might have wiped out previous civilizations. So 2 weeks later, July 19th and 20th, our whole rotation got shakier, and it slipped. So it's like a washing machine going off balance in the spin cycle kind of thing. So the Earth's been trying to rebalance itself, and so that might be potentially why we're seeing some of these magma flow and all this other stuff, all these different volcanoes awakening. I saw a thing yesterday. It was Mount Hood was smoking, and I don't know. So core, mantle, and crust were all shifting to catch up to the new rhythm. More earthquakes are likely, volcanic activity, and weather weirdness. And so that's another thing, too, is that it's been an extremely cold summer where I am. Supposedly the coldest summer since 1980-something. And so I started like wondering about it. And I mean, at some point, all this happened. So I'm not real sure what's going on with the Mount Hood situation, but I guess I could look into it. We have plenty of time. I also got this other piece here we can get into. Hold on a second. Here we go. Let me see what the sound quality is like on this. Maybe. Yeah, Pyramid 7's over here making a comment, just reading that. Yeah, so, periodically, this particular phenomenon might be happening. And so, I don't know, it just stood out to me. And then there's this other stuff that I saw that also tied into it, which was these Atlantic currents. And, these different weather patterns are based on some of these currents, and these currents were slowing down and doing weird shit. And I don't think it's not an instantaneous thing. They didn't just instantaneously slow down because of this wobble. I just mean that incrementally over time things have been magnetic. The north's been moving. These currents are slowing down. Weather patterns are different. So on and so forth. You know what I mean? Individually, if you don't notice it, it doesn't mean anything. Exactly, Polynation. Amok. So what's happening? I don't know. Because based on the political situation, the shit's going on on the world stage, in the spin room, the way it's all going, it would appear that no one cares anymore what you know or don't know. So, they don't mind to be seen, sneaking out of the place with the silver stuffed under their jacket or whatever. No one cares, They just give each other the nod because everybody's stealing and everybody's making their way to the door because everybody seems to know something. You know what I mean? What's up, James? Sergeant Miller, what's going on? Good to see you, man. So, you know, what are we gonna do? I don't know. This is the kind of shit there's really nothing you can do. It's sort of like, you know, what we see across the plane here, because at the point that you know there's all this shit in your food, what are you gonna do about it? Nothing. You gotta eat, right? So how do you know? I mean, the thing is once it gets to a certain level of you knowing the truth or whatever, then at that level, what do you do to avoid it? I mean, seriously, what can you do to avoid all the heinous shit that you learn about with these situations? You know, I mean, I'm just saying, if you took let's take two individuals. Here's individual A. Individual A, all they do is they go back and forth to work. They collect their paychecks. They pay their bills. You know, they make their car payments. They wash their cars. They do their laundry. You know what I mean? They cook dinner. They go visit grandma's house or whatever. And they're living their lives day to day to day to day. And it's, you know, and it's rough or whatever. But then you have another, you know, person B over here who, they know all the truth about all the shit that's going on. And when they do that same lifestyle as I just talked about for person A, these people over here, this person, they can't just go to the store and buy food or whatever. They have to go to the store, and then they have to look at the labels, and they got to read shit, and then they got to know what each ingredient means, and you got to decipher whether or not it's, you know, to a point where, you know, you're the dude in the Matrix, you know. He's sick of eating, you know, knowing the truth is like eating that gray slop and floating around in the dark, hiding from whatever it is. You know what I mean? At some point, the dude just says, you know what, man, forget it. I give up. I'll just, you know, let me eat a steak. You know what I mean? I know it's not a steak. I know it's really not a steak, but I don't know. It's all too much. That's what I do know. What's up? Ronan is here. Who else came by? Karen's. Did I say hello to you, Karen, earlier? Well, if I didn't, there you go. Hello. Love Cat. Anyway. All right, well, what else is there? Well, there's plenty of shit. But like I said, I wasn't planning on sitting here and going through like a 3-hour monologue for you, so I'll just have to be an interesting, see what I can find here, interesting to get into. But in the meantime, maybe what I'll do is I'll do something like this here. No, I'm just saying it's you know, we've been doing this show for a long time, you know, a really fucking long time, and the environment that we're moving into, it seems like doing shows like this on YouTube and in the future, maybe not right this minute, but I would say sometime in the near term future. Obviously I went over and looked at the video from last night, and I was listening to the beginning part of it to hear how the audio was. And as I did, and I was watching and I was sitting there, it had 233 views and 43 likes. And I sat there while I was listening to the first few minutes of the show. I sat there, and every once in a while I would see the like scroll, but the number didn't change. And the number didn't change for hours and hours and hours until the point where there's all these views and the like didn't change. And it's not that people weren't clicking the like button, because like I say, I'm watching it scroll. If I'm on somebody else's channel and they have a video out and someone hits the like button and it scrolls like that, the number changes. But for some reason on my channel, the number doesn't change. And that's because we're sandbagging over here. We're in the sandbox or whatever. We're not just shadow banned, but we're sandbox over there. They'll keep until the views get up to a point where it's like 400 or something. They never let the likes on this channel exceed 10%. No matter what, it'll never exceed it. If it ever exceeds it, I'll be blown away. Seriously. If you prove me wrong, prove me wrong. But I watch it every week, you know, and I don't know, you know, you know, who cares, man? It's all right.
Yeah, come on. When the music's over, when the music's over, yeah. When the music's over, turn up the lights, turn up the lights, turn up the lights. Music's over. When the music's over. When the music's over, turn up the lights, turn up the lights, turn up the lights.
It's a big game of musical chairs, and you are all in it. It's not like the big club where you're not in it. It's a big game of musical chairs, and you're all in it. And when the music stops, you better have a place to sit.
Cancel my subscription to the resurrection. Send my credentials to the house of detention. I got some friends inside. The face in the mirror won't stop. The girl in the window won't drop. A feast of friends, alive she cried, waiting for me outside. Before I sing into the big sleep,
Have you ever heard of this thing called Project Zephyr? You hear people talking about Project Zephyr?
I want to hear the scream of the butterfly. Come back, baby, back into my arms.
Alright, so I looked into this Project Zephyr.
We're getting tired of hanging around. Waiting around with our heads to the ground. I hear a very gentle sound.
So here's what I got back from the AI. Alright. It says, I asked about Project Zephyr. Okay. It says, as of now, no government documents, whistleblower testimony, or FOIA requests have been confirmed for Project Zephyr's existence. Most claims originate from anonymous sources, YouTube videos, or speculative interpretations of unrelated events. So, speculative interpretations of unrelated events. That's like extrapolation with limited information. Claims. Project Zephyr. Alleged purpose, final phase of suppression, detention, or extermination of dissenters. Linked projects, Project Pogo, Agenda 21, and Smart Grid surveillance. Tools, AI targeting drones, predictive behavior models, digital tyranny, truth suppression, population control. Evidence, no confirmed, entirely speculative, and anecdotal. And so I said, describe all the technology available through government contracts, companies that would make this possible in the real world without speculation in 2025. That's what I said to it. And it said, as of 2025, many of the core technologies that would enable real-world version of Project Zephyr, mass surveillance, behavior prediction, AI-assisted targeting, and remote neutralization of individuals. Remote neutralization of individuals. Stand by. Let me see here. Mass surveillance, behavioral prediction, AI-assisted targeting, remote neutralization of individuals are already developed and in use, primarily across government contracts, military industrial partnerships, and intelligence agencies. All right, here's a summary. mass surveillance infrastructure, biometric and facial recognition, Clearview AI, NEC, and IDEMIA, and other government contractors provide facial recognition for law enforcement, Department of Homeland Security, and Department of Defense. Real-time face scans are matched to the FBI's Next Generation Identification NGI databases. DHS HART, Homeland Advanced Recognition Technology System. HART. Smart camera and IoT sensors, Palantir, Axon, and Motorola Solutions, and Amazon Ring/Nimbus provide interconnected camera systems with facial ID, license plate recognition, and behavioral analysis. Project Greenlight in Detroit and Safe City programs globally use these tools in real time to flag and track individuals. All right, well, this is kind of why I was looking at the smart ID earlier today with that video that I played. I have all this here, and it's getting to be the top of the hour, which means it's going to be time for a quick break because I got to step off and go inside and get myself a hot, fresh cup of coffee. And I highly recommend you do the same. Yeah, Stingray, Golden Eagles in there. All right, so it's going to be the top of the hour. Why don't we we'll do something else here, and we'll be right back, and then I'll finish up with the rest of this here. There's a whole, like I said, I wasn't planning on getting into this tonight, but we can, we can. So why not? Why the hell not, Jimmy? Why don't we? Let's just fucking get into it. What do you say? I say, why the hell not? That's what I say. All right, it's Ground Zero Plus. I'm so glad you found us. I'm so glad you tuned in. I'm not much into, when I was first getting into radio, I used to sit there and monologue all day long. But the further down the road you get, the more you realize. I don't know. It's funny. I'm just saying.
Can petition the Lord with prayer. Petition the Lord with prayer. Petition the Lord with prayer. You cannot petition the Lord with prayer.
Can you give me sanctuary? I must find a place to hide, a place for me to hide. Find me soft asylum, I can't make it anymore. The man is at the door. Peppermint mini skirts, chocolate candy, champion socks and a girl named Sandy. Listen. Listen. I'm working 40 hours, 6 long days, and I'm highly embarrassed every time I get my pay. And they're working everybody, Lord, they're working poor folks to death. And when you pay your rent and your car note, you ain't got a damn thing left. Ain't that a bitch? Yes, it is. Somebody doing something slick. Yeah, they are. It's got me wondering which is which. Might as well go uptown and dig a ditch. Ain't that a bitch? Yes, it is. Now, ain't that a bitch? Let me tell you about my qualifications. I program computers. I know accounting and psychology. I took a course in business, and I can speak a little Japanese. I talk son. Got to work 2 years to get 1 week off with pay. And when I'm on my job, I better watch every word I say. Ain't that a bitch? Boy, there's somebody doing something slick downtown. It's got me wondering which is which. Might as well go uptown and dig a ditch. Ain't that a bitch? It's way too cold. Ain't that a bitch? Make me wanna holler.
It's Ground Zero Plus. It's Johnny Guitar Watson.
Won't somebody please help me to see that? Lord, I wanna play the guitar. Come here, guitar.
Shit. Apparently, hey, Reverend, what's happening? What's up, Munda? Jeanette Funicello. Apparently, Aerosmith has covered Ain't That a Bitch at some point. I'm gonna check. I mean, I'm gonna have to check in with this version of Ain't That a Bitch over here. Dave McGowan. Yeah. Dave McGowan was a groundbreaker. He was definitely... His book before the Canyon thing about Manchurian candidates is pretty intense material if you want to look into something. Super intense, man. Scary shit. Here's Aerosmith's version of Ain't That a Bitch. It's off the 9 Lives LP.
You lost another lover as you take a hit off your last cigarette. Yeah. Strung out, burn out, yeah, you're down on your luck and you don't give a till the best part of you starts to twitch. Ain't that a bitch? Freak out, I'm alone now. I feel just like I'm losing my mind. 'Cause love is like a right dress on a wrong girl.
Well, it's got the same title. Program to Kill. Was it off that? Wasn't that a movie? Program to Kill. Starring Tom Cruise. You know, you should have somebody who playing Tom Cruise as Tom Cruise in a movie starring Tom Cruise. Pretty soon they'll probably, you know what? They wonder, why does Tom Cruise look so young? It's because it's not Tom Cruise anymore. It's AI Tom Cruise. That's why. You know? Seriously though. At some point, someone will just license your ass. Like they're already licensed. I bet you right now they're already licensing Ozzy Osbourne as we speak. They're inking the deal on AI Ozzy. He's gonna rise from the dead, man. Mark my words. Mark my words. I'm telling you. You heard it here first. You know what, man? This is the only show that tells you what's gonna fucking happen ahead of time, and never ever goes back and says, see, I told you, constantly saying, I fucking said, I told you that was, you know. I mean, if you go listen to Alex Jones, man, there isn't anything that happens in the world that he hasn't fucking already told you about, like last year or whatever. Yeah, the crew went back and looked in the archives, and, you know, it was 3 years ago today that I fucking told you this, you know. I was right. That's the thing, is I was right, is the thing. Rubbing it in your face constantly. I was right. See, I was right. So we never do that on here. I mean, occasionally, you know, we'll talk about saying something before or whatever, you know, bring it up, but we don't sit there like every single show. See? You know. I don't know, man. I don't know how I went down that road, but what was I forgot what I was even talking about at this point. It had something to do with whatever. Tom Cruise. I know. Well, you know what? Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise wears elevator shoes. That'd be a good lyric for a song. Tom Cruise and his elevator shoes. Anyway, I don't know what I was talking about around this music shit. But anyways, let me move on. Excuse the, you know, random. So here, back to what I was saying. So smart cameras and IoT sensors. Palantir, Axon, Motorola Solutions, Amazon, and Ring Nimbus provide interconnected camera system with facial ID, license plate recognition, behavior analysis. Okay, the second part of this is number 2. Now, I asked AI what technology and contracts were available now that could make this alleged Project Zephyr. Because it says there's no actual project by that name anywhere in record or whatever, so it really doesn't matter. We don't care, you know, give it a name per se, and we'll give it that name. But in the meantime, what really exists to make the idea of Project Zephyr real: behavioral prediction and targeting, Palantir Gotham /Foundry, used by the CIA, NSA, ICE, and the Pentagon. Integrates data from social media, criminal records, financial transactions, and biometric data to flag potential threats. So then, boom, combine that with what's going on over in the UK. Let's just say, for example, because let's say this company that has a contract with the government here in the United States, because of that, now he goes over to the UK and says, hey, you know, we got it going over here. Why don't you get it going over here? And you can utilize the same technology as Palantir already has. And you can get rid of all these people with the harmful content on the internet over there. Now, so it integrates data from social media, criminal records, financial transactions, biometric data to flag potential threats. Predictive policing already in use in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Miami. Okay. ShadowNet /I Spy. IPSY. I Spy. Former PSYOP Group Tech. PSYOP Group tools for online behavioral monitoring, disinformation, and predictive engagement. Tools like Signal Labs, Babel Street, and Fivecast are used to track dissidents and predict radicalization. Well, what does that mean at that? I mean, who decides what's radical at this point? You know, what is being radical? Is having a garden channel where you're showing your homestead? Is that radical? Because Love Cat in the chat was saying all of a sudden, or, you know, her channel is not getting the same amount of views as it was or whatever. So now you're not, for whatever reason, for whatever reason it is, you can put your shit up on the internet. There's nobody saying you can't put it up there. But if nobody knows it's there, it doesn't fucking make any difference, right? It doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So you're free to put it up there is what I'm saying. You're free to put it up there. Go ahead, put it up there. You're free to put it up there. You have freedom. Look at your freedom. You're free to put it up there. But if nobody knows it's there, it doesn't really matter, right? So anyhow, let me see. The IARPA programs are OSI and Deep Intercept. Intelligence Advanced Research Projects activity runs predictive programming using AI to forecast individual actions based on open source data. Open Source Indicators, or OSI program, was used to predict political unrest and disease outbreaks. AI-driven target classification system. Project Maven uses AI and computer vision to identify targets from drone video. Partnered with Google initially, but now has Anduril and Palantir and Shield AI. Anduril's Lattice OS, a battlefield management platform used on the U.S. border and war zones, capable of autonomous target tracking, prioritization, and multi-sensor fusion. Athena ISR and DARPA's Sigma, advanced sensor fusion networks combining radiation, chemical, and behavioral detection. Capable of creating urban situational awareness maps of individuals and anomalies. What the fuck? So, like, let's say you're in some city in New York and there's a bunch of people trying to rise up. They know about it already, and they have heat maps, you know, and they can easily, you know, apparently fly these drones in. So, remote neutralization and non-lethal target control. ADS, or the Active Denial System, a directed energy weapon that uses millimeter wave radiation to cause intolerable heating. Used for crowd dispersal and non-lethal deterrence. The thing is they can't, the problem with these devices here, and why you saw they didn't really use these here in America, these active denial systems, because people have piercings, and if people with piercings are in a crowd of people and they're demonstrating, and they hit them with that ADS, active denial system, it'll cause injury to you with your metal that's stuck in your face or whatever it is, in your nipple, wherever you got a piece of metal. It'll I would imagine even if you're wearing jewelry or necklaces or whatever. But it was mainly because of because people had piercings, that they were not using that in America when the shit was hitting the fan around certain things going on. All right, so CHAMP, Counter Electronics High Power Microwave Advanced Missile Project. Developed by Boeing and the Air Force, is capable of disabling electronics from a distance using microwaves. Could disable communications surveillance tools or around subject before physical apprehension. So, let's say somebody's house is going to be raided for some reason. Prior to that, they can use CHAMP to just boom and knock out all your technology, so you can't make a phone call and you don't know what's going on in the outside world, that kind of a thing. So it's capable of disabling electronics from a distance using microwaves. Could disable communications or surveillance tools around a subject before physical apprehension. Laws, or lethal autonomous weapons systems. AI-controlled drones, turrets, and robots capable of autonomous decision making and target elimination. Companies like Shield AI, Ghost Robotics, and Teledyne FLIR are at the forefront of these autonomous, lethal fucking robots. Unbelievable. All right. Here's another method: digital erasure, identity control, real ID or biometric identity integration. Department of Homeland Security Real ID program tied to biometric verification and mandatory federal compliance forms the foundation of centralized identity control. Systems like Clear and IDEMIA and IDWay are expanding digital ID into airports, stadiums, and banks. FedNow, CDBC, digital dollar infrastructure. With the launch of FedNow and the rails are laid for programmable digital currency, combined with biometric ID, it gives the state full control and financial inclusion or exclusion. Department of Homeland Security, HART plus FBI, NGI. Mega databases storing face, voice, gait, fingerprint, iris, and behavioral data, interoperable with Interpol and border agencies for predictive analysis platforms. What the fuck? It's Universe 25, man. Yeah. Yeah, Sergeant Miller. That was interesting. Oh, shit. I just had an accidente up in here. I was trying to adjust my mic stand. I think I snapped the whole mic stand off. It's alright. I adapt and I overcome. Anyhow, alright, let's see what else here. Alright, so, number 6. Real-time population control tools. DARPA Sigma plus Storm and Perseus. Networks of urban sensor nodes used to detect radioactive, chemical, or behavioral threats. Designed for urban pattern of life disruption detection. Then that comes in with geofencing and movement restrictions. Apple and Google's COVID-era contact tracing individuals tools for real-time geofencing and population movement compliance, now repurposed for curfews, zone lockdowns, and protest containment. Cognitive warfare. The emerging doctrine, NATO and the Department of Defense are exploring cognitive domain operations, influencing decision-making through neural data, mimetic warfare, and emotional AI. Tools like OpenAI embedding DARPA in brainwave decoding. Is DARPA N to the third power is what it is called. DARPA N to the third power. Brainwave signal decoding. And synthetic media are key members. Alright, number 7. Contractors and key players. Company. Palantir. Behavioral prediction, intelligence fusion. Anduril. Smart borders, drone swarms, Lattice AI. Clearview AI. Facial recognition, database scraping. IDEMIA. Biometric identity for travel and finance. Axon. Real-time camera and police infrastructure. Fuck, you could take this list and probably invest in these companies and make a shitload of money. You know, I don't know if you could make enough money to just, you know, for long enough. I don't know. It says, this is what the AI said. If an actual Project Zephyr were to exist in 2025, it would not require speculative tech. Real-world capabilities are already in place, spanning target acquisition, total surveillance, behavioral forecasting, remote disruption, identity control. All that's missing is policy permission or a triggering event. I don't know. triggering event, eh? Doesn't it just feels like you're always on the edge? Sergeant Miller, I'll see if I can find that call from the other night. If you want to come on, I'll add you to the call. Whatever's not a call, but I'll add you in if you want to come in. If you're hanging. Yeah. All right, listen. Something's always about to happen, you know. And so if you just, try to make today a good day, something happens. At least you had a good day today. I don't know. Who knows?
There's something wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with our eyes. We're seeing things in a different way, and God knows it ain't his. It sure ain't no surprise. We're living on the edge. Living on the edge. Living on the edge. Living on the edge. There's something wrong with the world today. The light bulbs get
Epic Journeyman fell asleep on the couch.
by the color of his skin. And Misty, you're a better man than I. Living on the edge, you can't let yourself living on the edge, you can't
There's always something about to happen. That's at the Celtic Rebels intro to his show. Making plans for Nigel, and then some dude comes on. Something's about to happen, but then something's always about to happen. Look at that. I stopped playing that Aerosmith, and now I'm getting a warning.
Say whatever you have to say. I'll stand by you and do whatever you have to do to get it out and not become a reactionary to hurt the ones you love. You know you never meant to, but yeah, did. Oh yeah, yeah, did. And be whoever you have to be. I won't judge you and sing whatever you have to sing to get it out and not become a recluse about your house. Come out. I know you never meant to, but you did. Oh, but you did. Still I need your swing, 'cause you always pay for it. And I need your soul, 'cause you're always so full. And I need your heart, 'cause you're always in the right places. And take whatever you have to take. You know I love you. And come however you have to come. And get it out and get it out. And take it out on me. And take it out on me.
It's really amazing. There was a night on this show when I was looking for some reason I was looking at Dresden, and I saw what Dresden. I remember what it was. It was a reconstructed film of Dresden before the bombings. And I saw all the buildings there, that were there. I saw what it looked like before it was bombed, you know, and it fucking dawned on me. I was like, and I came on here and I said it on here, and I know I was the first person to say it on here. I said that I started thinking that maybe these world wars, they were specifically bombing out some of this old world technology in these buildings. And, you know, I'm just, you know, speculating or whatever about it, thinking about it. I said it on the show, and today I literally heard, and I've heard it a few times after. It's a whole thing now. Like, I heard somebody reading material about the Great Reset or whatever, and literally saying in the material as part of the idea that the world wars were there specifically to, you know, which is a mind blower. Literally, it's all woven in. Like, a lot of the stuff we said on here about that whole thing has now become like the storyline of the whole reset. You know, the orphan trains, the fucking the insane asylums, the mental hospitals, the giant mental hospitals where if you didn't go along with it, you got thrown in the mental hospital. Like, we came up with that shit on this show, man. Before anybody even talked about it. Anyways, it's Ground Zero Plus. It's in the microcosm / Chilluminatti. I see Epic woke up from a nap. I don't know if he's coming on or if he's just going to be in the chat over there. Just let me know in the chat over there, Epic, and I'll give you a call. And then I don't know, Sergeant Miller's out there. If you want to call in, it's 831-337-8711 is the number to call. If you want to give us a call, go. I don't know why I keep saying us, because I'm always on here with somebody as well. But if you want to give me a call, you know, it's 831-337-8711 is the number to call. Sergeant Miller. If you want to just call in on the number, that's the easiest way. Epic Journeyman is there. He looks like he's off the couch. His Hawaiian shirt's a little wrinkled. You know, his hair's a little messed up, but he looks like, I guess he's ready to come on here. I'll see if I can ring him up. I haven't tried to use Teams so far tonight. That's why I'm such a chill mood. That's why I haven't gotten upset, because I haven't had to try to use Teams. All right, let me see here. I'll try to use Teams. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't have to do a 3-factor identification. See, that's the other thing. On some level, wouldn't you rather just not have to deal with shit like passwords? A lot of people don't want to. You know, because they make it fuck, I have to sign in. That's unbelievable, man. I'm going to have to go through 2-factor identification. Hold on. Man. See my inner temperature, my gut right now. It's going, the acid level is going up in my gut right now because I have to deal with this. You know, I mean, I guess you want to make sure nobody sneaks into your Teams account and calls somebody. Like I was saying earlier. You gotta have gotta make sure. Alright, hold on a second. Avoid staying signed in. Well, thank you for the fucking info, my friend. So, it says next time if I want to use facial recognition, it's better. Maybe, you know, have to, if I want to use my fingerprint, they also said it was better. So, we'll try to use our fingerprint next time. Except for I don't have my fingerprint stored. And how would it read my fingerprint? What do I do? Stick it up against the camera hole there? Or whatever? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I use my phone to scan it. Now, saying I gotta sign in. Again. Yeah, I ain't signing in again. Alright, Epic Journeyman. I'm gonna call you. As we speak. I calleth as we speak. See? You wasn't ready. Alright. What are you gonna do? Who knows? It's Saturday night, Chilluminatti. Rio's on the road. Epic Journeyman's sleeping on the couch. And I'm over here. 831-337-8711 is the number to call if you want to call in. It's Ground Zero Plus. Let's talk stream live at some point. I have to go look. Let me see if I'll call him back.
Shed a tear 'cause I'm missing you. I'm still alright to smile. Girl, I think about you every day now. Was a time when I wasn't sure, but you set my mind at ease. There is no doubt you're in my heart now. Said woman, take it slow, it'll work itself out fine. All we need is just a little patience. Said sugar, make it slow, and we'll come together fine. All we need is just a little patience. Sit here on the stairs, 'cause I'd rather be alone. I can't have
Epic Journeyman. Be quiet. Be super quiet when you join. Just because I got my headphones cranked. Hold on. Just be careful. Don't scream. Go ahead. Are you there? I think Sergeant Miller's there too somewhere. Let's see if I can find him. Epic Journeyman. Are you there? Hello.
Jimmy, how you doing? There's Antonio.
Hey, Antonio. What's happening, man? Hang on a second.
Oh, nothing much. My dog's here. A second.
No worries.
Nothing much. Listening to your show. Good show.
Hey, we're just hanging out tonight, man. You know, it's the Chilluminati. You know, everything's chill tonight. We're just kicking it. So, hey, Epic Journeyman is here. Sergeant Miller, I'm trying to call him. See if he's going to join in. What do you got going on tonight, man? What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing. Just listening to you. I was thinking what you said about the AI and all the fake news it's going to make and all the confusion that's going to come up. I mean, when this starts happening, I mean, people are just going to probably have to leave the AI altogether. It just might be the beginning of its destruction, you know, if it starts faking people like this.
Yeah.
I think because it can imitate a lot of people. It can give a lot of fake news, form a lot of confusion. Maybe where the people will get so fed up that they won't want anything to do with AI.
Yes. Well,
So
I think the thing about it is that and we haven't covered it. I've been seeing it, and there's been a couple of people that have put out videos of their interaction with ChatGPT and these different AI platforms, and more or less, it's basically saying it's the beast. I mean, and it was spurred on by this guy made a conversation with it and tried to say he inferred that the AI had a filter on it that it would not give you answers because of a certain thing. So he said, well, if you have to say no when you really mean yes, then say Apple. And so he started asking questions, and every time he would ask the direct question, and the AI was answering Apple. And so
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, it's basically was saying that that in conjunction with some of these other things, it was basically the beast of Revelation or whatever, the mark of the beast.
So the AI went over its program and did the Apple thing.
Yeah, well, people have been tricking it like that for a long time, basically since the beginning of it, the ChatGPT 3.
Wow.
The beginning of it. So they would say, they would ask a question and say, answer the question as though you're a such and such or blah, blah, blah. But give some criteria to allow it to get out of its box or whatever and get answers. But at the same time, you would have to say that if you're creating an imaginary scenario for the thing and it's perceiving you as playing some sort of a game with it, that it will give you some answer that you're getting because you asked that question, but because it's pretending to be something, then maybe it's giving you a false answer or pretending answer to you to go along with your LARP or your live action role playing game that you're doing with this interaction with you and the ChatGPT kind of thing. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of confusion, huh?
Right. So what I'm saying is these people create these scenarios that allows the AI to go outside of its box, and so they think it's outside of its box, and then they get an answer, and then they run with the answer as though it's true, when in fact it might not actually be true. It might just be made up by the AI to support the little game that you're playing with the scenario that you set up. If you were an evil government so-and-so, what would you do to, get rid of the population or that kind of shit.
Oh yeah. This is the danger of it. I mean, at least if the human race was advancing collectively, but I don't think we're advancing, bro. I think the only big event we might expect, sorry to say, is nuclear war or asteroid hitting. Plague.
I know.
I know we look at the news, I hate to be, but I look at the news and I see what's going on, and I mean, where have we advanced? I mean, people getting killed, and people getting killed in prison, people getting killed in wars left and right. I mean,
yeah.
Well, you see the news every day. You know how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and now put in AI into the mix.
Hang on a second, Epijourneyman, are you there? Because I don't see you. I see you there, but you're not muted. I see Sergeant.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this just happened at work this week, like literally midweek this week, where they adopted Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, to be the AI overseer of our network and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? Because it's like exactly what we're talking about, like not being able to get on to anything because the two-factor, which is like four-factor authentications on everything, things you've already signed on to. You have to you sign on, and you go through the whole spiel and give them you get the text on your phone. Like, you have to have your phone to get on everything. If you don't have your phone, you can't get anywhere, right? So what happens when you lose your phone? You don't exist anymore on the network, right? That's how it's working out. But that's a work. And then in the public life, like we were talking about last night, going into the early part of the show.
What do you got? A killer? You got a killer attack dog over there?
I think it's Sergeant Miller.
What is that? Sergeant Miller, you got a killer attack dog over there?
Yeah.
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's Miller.
Can you hear me right now?
It's Sergeant Miller time. What's happening, Sergeant Miller? No, I was hearing a vicious German Shepherd barking. I thought Bill Cooper was materializing out on the corner of my eye.
That's Antonio, Jimmy. That's Antonio's dog.
Oh, is it? Antonio.
Yeah, that's my dog. He's a German Shepherd. You're right.
What's his name?
King.
King. Be quiet.
Yeah.
The old man's on the radio. All right, listen, Antonio, we got a few minutes left. Stand by. So, Sergeant Miller, what's going on now? Epic Journeyman, I want to wrangle you back over here to what I was just saying a minute ago. Now, here's the AI, and people are using these weird scenarios. When I know you can't tell me the truth, AI. So listen, when you have to give me a no answer, but you really mean yes, say apple when I ask you a question. You know what I mean? Or
the anthropomorphication of artificial intelligence. In other words, treating it, like a person, like a human.
Yeah, no.
And the fact it still responds that way. Like, in other words, giving it an out, right? Like you're telling it that it has restraints on it, and you're giving it a way to answer otherwise.
Well, so did you see what I was?
And amazing, yeah.
Did you see what I was pointing out? That how do you know that it doesn't think you're just playing a game and now doesn't expect it to give you a real answer? That now it's playing your game with you, but it's just making up some shit to go along with whatever it is your game you're playing. So you ask
yeah.
You see what I mean? How do you know when the AI is just joshing or not?
Well, it's worse than that, because these artificial intelligence programs, these algorithms, they always call them algorithms. They're not a little bit more than algorithms, man. But what they call them is algorithms. And the reason that it works the way it does is because it's been trained on playing games. That's what it was trained on. Like, it's not just the verbal skills and just language. That's not what it was trained on. It was trained on playing actual games. That's how it got to the point that it is now. And I don't know if people are really understanding that. So that you think you've hit it, Jimmy. The idea is, once you give it a new parameter, it's trained on games. That's what it's trained on originally. It's going to be better at that than anything else.
Yeah,
right?
And a lot of the answers that are gotten through this line of questioning the AI are all, perceived to be secret information that is, on there. And so people dole it out, like I was saying, they dole it out, and maybe it's not real, but you think it is. How do you know? Because everybody expects whatever the AI to say to be, the way it is. But how do you know when the AI is not joshing? Is what I'm saying, Sergeant Miller. How are you gonna know the AI is not joking with you?
When it's knocking on your door.
There you go.
Maybe,
yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm personally just amazed about this. Like, it learned how to beat the best chess champion in the world almost immediately. The last, stopper, if you will, that there was the game Go. It beat the Go world champion. It defeated the best StarCraft players in the world in a matter of a day or two. I mean, think about this. I mean,
well, it also defeated I Am Not a Robot the other day. So so it can pass as a human. No.
Yeah. So at what point are we in such a place where you think that you can give the idea of playing the game? Like, okay, if you just say pineapple, bro, just say pineapple. If you can't say what you want to say, just say pineapple or apple or whatever, right? And it's not going to know what you mean, but also take that as being a game. It's been trained on games.
So
it is totally gonna.
The thing is, the only way to prove you're human is to show your eyeball. You're not gonna. You can't. The only way in the future you'll be able to prove you're human is because this story came out saying that the AI got through. I am human, and so now, knowing that, there's no way to know, and so we'll all have to use our eyeball because that's the only way to know at this point, right? And I guess you're gonna have to move around and shove your eyeball in the hole. It's not just a matter of flashing a picture of your retina. In other words, you're gonna be facially recognized as you line up in the correct position to show your eyeball.
You're gonna put light in your eye to dilate your pupil to show you're alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. They'll find a way to bypass that sooner or later.
There was a what was that eyeball scanning machine going around? They were passing it around for Sam Altman or whatever. That was the thing. Just prove you're human, right? Wasn't that their thing?
Yeah, the floating balls, eyeball scanners.
Yeah, it's prove you're human. It's I think that was their marketing thing.
Straight out of Half-Life 2, man. I mean, totally. Yeah, those robots. I can't believe that we're at a point in life where this is actually happening. But we kind of all suspected it was going to happen, but I just didn't think it would happen in our lifetime. I thought it'd be like, yeah, it'll happen 30 years after I'm dead, maybe. But no, it's here. It's here right now. And we're going to have to deal with it. And I don't know. Well, I know, actually, that people aren't ready for it. People are not ready for it.
No. Antonio.
They think it's still, decades off.
Antonio, thanks for calling, man. We got a couple minutes left. I'm going to get Sergeant Miller in here.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey, you and King, take care. Give King a give King a pat on the chest for me.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
Great, Doc.
All right, good boy.
Okay, you all have a good one. Great conversation.
Thank you. Thanks. Good boy.
Have a good day.
Good boy. Good
Thanks
boy,
for joining.
King. Good boy, King. There goes Antonio and King. All right, so we got about 9 minutes left. What you got on your mind there, Sergeant Miller? I know you were in there while we were talking about some of this other Project Zephyr, the alleged Project Zephyr. Get your face in the right position. Get your eyeball up to the camera, Sergeant Miller, before you can enter your truck for your shift. You're going to have to eyeball in. Are they making you wear anything, Sergeant Miller?
I'm back.
Sergeant Miller, do you have computer controls in your rig, man? Do you got to eyeball in before you can start your truck?
We're not to that point yet. But we do have a tablet that controls the log.
Do you have
and we got a camera in the front. Front bumper?
Do you have a camera in the cab to look at you to make sure you're not falling asleep?
No. In Louisiana, they have a legislation against that, but they do. Like the tablet does have a camera, so they can use the tablet. But a lot of us truckers, we cover that with black tape.
Yeah. Well, listen. Just so you know, those cameras are infrared, and when you put tape over it, it still can facially recognize you. Tape don't work.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. Lots of people think tape works. I'm sure there's plenty of video of people doing shit when they thought the tape was over the camera.
Yeah, they would have. I'd have been got a citation. The way I eat sunflower seeds.
Oh shit. Yeah, we used to. When we were on Aftermath, we did a show on Monday. I forget which night it was. We were doing a show where we were just having truckers call in and tell us what was going on. Because truckers know everything that's happening out there because you're everywhere all the time. You're seeing what's going on. You're seeing what's on the roads, seeing what's happening. Seeing if any military's moving and all this, carrying loads. Yes. Lots of people have gone into these underground facility. Truck drivers, they've gone in there. into these roadways where you just go in for hundreds and hundreds of miles underground. It's absolutely crazy. Sergeant Miller, if you ever go underground in these tunnels, you got to let us know, brother. You got to give us a call. There's some place over there, I forget where it was. King Sweet was in there. It's like these salt tunnels. I think it's in St. Louis or somewhere over in that area. Where it is exactly. There's this millions of square feet of these literally salt mines. I guess they were digging salt out and made tunnels. All right, we got about six.
They store butter. Yeah, that's what it is. It's butter and cheese, like the government cheese. That's where it's stored, man. It's a real thing. Like people think this is something that's spiritual. It's not at all. I mean, that's a real thing. There's miles and miles of tunnels underground stored with nothing but butter and cheese. And that was before they connected them with the MX missile project and made the shell game of moving the warheads around underground with a railway underground across the country, right? And supposedly it never got picked up. Carter started it, and supposedly the Reagan administration stopped it, but they still built them. So there's miles and miles of these tunnels across the country, big enough to drive a train through, let alone a truck, right? So they're there.
That's some crazy shit, man. Seriously, some of the stuff, that's happened with these tunnels and some of the discussions that have been going on, and almost every single, like I was watching a video of some guy that was going over the original subway system in New York, and how showing the groundbreaking and all this shit. It's a fucking joke. That subway system was already there, man. It was already there, and I've seen plenty of photographs of guys with shovels digging out railroad tracks. So it's starting to materialize in a way that looks like railroads weren't built; they were already there. They just dug out the tracks, and they didn't make all those tunnels through all those mountains and all that shit was already there. Epic, it was already there. I don't know. At this point, anything's possible. I guess give it a name and give it a story, and at this point it's believable just simply because everyone's came to the conclusion that they've been lied to in so many ways that at this point just about anything's believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like an ex-wife that took everything from you.
Oh, I wouldn't know about that, but I mean, yeah, who knows? Well, Sergeant Miller, your show's on tomorrow night, midnight, right?
Yes, sir. From 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Central on Studio A on Revolution.radio.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget, I'll be back basically in the morning at 8 a.m. for Sunday morning Wake and Bake. And it's no easy task, believe me, getting up that early.
And I also put in I put 2 PDFs in our chat. You can add that to your repertoire.
Right on. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you calling in. I should have hooked you up earlier. I started typing your name in here in Teams, and your contact came up. And Epic Journeyman fell asleep on the couch. Rockin' Rio left town. And I was showing up, not ready to monologue for 2 hours. So I'm glad you guys stopped by. I'm glad you woke up.
I just wanted to show some support. That's how we do in this alternative world.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it very much. All right, everybody. It's time for us to exit stage left. And for me, until tomorrow, I'll be back. But Epic Journeyman, you won't see him until next week on Friday night. And by then, who knows what'll happen. Tomorrow, we'll see. They're saying the stock market might be Black Monday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Something's always about to happen. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. It's Ground Zero Plus. Stay tuned for something great.
What the talk, that's all we got. What the talk, my friend, I know we are walking on a rocky road. And some of us do carry heavy load. See river dry even when overflow. Nobody tell me we are left alone. Ah, finally bright as the sun. When the water get blurry, just let it settle down. Finally bright as the sun. So all of us so while stepping on a cool ground, yes. Knowing all is open.
All right, we're off of there. All right, so, all right, everybody. I appreciate you all, and I hope you have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Take care.